Welcome, my friends, to the Sources Corner, and happy 2023! You know what they say, new year, new me. So I thought of making a nice video for you guys, and I had a very nice idea. Why not making a video about The Walking Dead, since it finally ended? Jesus Christ! That's right, The Walking Dead ended after Season 11! Season 11! Can you believe that? This thing has been on TV for more than a decade! I want to emphasize something. I was a big fan of the show before its decline. I'm not a hater for the sake of being a hater. I've had a toxic relationship with this show for a long time. Every time I think I'm finally out,
they pull me back in.
I watched a lot until I realized, man, I just can't do this to me anymore. It's just not healthy. Sorry, baby, I love you, but you're going to be the end of me. But its finale kept me thinking, when was the moment the show started to really go off the rails? When was the first red flag that things were not going to work out for the show? I got the answer for you. The moment Dale Horvath died. You might think it's an exaggeration. What? Dale? That old guy from season 1 and 2? What the hell are you? Just hear me out. This has been driving me insane for years, okay? Sometimes I can't even sleep because of how stupid this decision was! That last part is not an exaggeration. I'm kind of an obsessive person. I have a problem. Some might think I have to let go, but no! I'm not letting go!
I'll never let go. I promise.
The Walking Dead comic was clearly a blueprint for what the show wanted to be. Frank Darabont, director of The Green Mile and Shawshank Redemption, the first showrunner of the show, intended for The Walking Dead to do things of its own as well, while still having the comics as a guide for what's to come. He was the one who pitched the show to AMC and brought many of his colleagues and friends to the project, including Jeffrey DeMunn, the actor who ended up playing Dale in the show. The first season was a hit, and AMC wanted a second season. Of course, they asked Darabont to do twice the episodes with half the budget. No, I am not making this up. Darabont, of course, was justifiably furious, to the point that there were multiple fights and confrontations with the higher-ups and tension on set. At the end, Darabont was fired during production of Season 2 and replaced with Glenn Mazzara. This sent the cast and crew into chaos. There is even an interview where Sam Witwer talks about this.
Here's a guy who gets his cast and crew together and gives them to AMC, packages this whole show and gives them a show that is way cheaper than it would be meant to make anywhere else, because everyone is working well under their pay grade. Why? Because they want to and love working with Frank Darabont. That's what's going on. And there are dozens and dozens of amazing ideas just like that are now gone. And this is all because people wanted to save money. This is all because they felt it necessary to cut the budget by, like, when you add in the tax breaks that they started pocketing, for 35%, really? Budget cut? So I'm not happy about it. And here's the thing. It's not as simple as don't support Walking Dead, because there's a lot of good people on that set. There's a lot of good people who are now trapped. You know, and people also who, you know, in this job market, people don't have jobs, right? And people who have been threatened, hey, if you speak out, we can kill you, you're on a zombie show.
Wanna know how bad it was? Really? Go right now, YouTube, look for bloopers of The Walking Dead, and you're gonna find a lot of bloopers from Season 7, from Season 5, from Season 3, Season 1 even. You won't find bloopers from Season 2. There's none. Maybe you'll be able to find some behind-the-scenes footage where people look happy in Season 2, but keep in mind, if you watch carefully, it always has something to do with the first half of Season 2, where Darabont was involved. But any footage that has something to do with what happens after, everybody looks miserable, like nobody's enjoying themselves. Just feels like they're doing their job, and that's it. And if there's a moment where people look happy, it always feels like they're really trying hard to enjoy their experience. It's very clear to me that everybody hated the experience of shooting that particular season. It's obvious that many people wanted him back, but their jobs were on the line. There was but one person who didn't give an F. Jeffrey DeMunn, who was a close friend of Darabont. He asked to be killed off in the show since his friend was fired. This is a direct quote from DeMunn. Dale's death was my decision. I was furious about how Frank was pushed out of the show. I spent a week not being able to take a full breath. And then I realized, oh, I can quit. So I called them and said, it's a zombie show. Kill me. I don't want to do this anymore. It was an immense relief to me. Jeffrey the Moon? More like Jeffrey the Man! So knowing this, what did AMC do? Well, maybe they reconsider rehiring Frank Darabont since it was causing so much trouble. Nope! They killed off Dale! And way down we go! Talk about a stupid decision here. I've heard that Jeffrey the Moon had a change of heart and he decided to stay, but sadly the episode was already written. But I can't find any confirmation of this being truth, and I personally don't think we ever will. Keep in mind that during the first half of the comics, Dale's character is not a minor one, it's actually a main one. He's the moral compass of the group and Rick's confidant, keeping him real and confronting him with the harsh truth when it's necessary. He's sweet and caring, but also tough and down to earth. His relationship with Andrea was also an important part of her story, since they are lovers before he gets killed during the Fear the Hunters arc, where he's captured by a group of cannibals who eat his leg, giving birth to the famous tainted meat scene. One of the best moments in the entire Walking Dead comic lore. There were even plans for an episode where it was shown how Dale and Andrea met, but due to the budget cut in Season 2, that was never made. And it's a shame, cause look at this scene from Billions, another one of the Moon's shows. I am pretty confident he would have pulled off the more aggressive version of Dale we see later in the comics.
They are trying to hang you from the yardarm, and you have not claimed the high ground from where you can repel the siege. I would slap your face and tell you to act like a man if I didn't think it'd turn you on.
I also have a very particular theory here, because apparently there were other actors on set who wanted out in protest, but Darabont told them, no, don't do this. AMC can destroy your career, guys. Because of this reason, I have the impression that Jeffrey the Moon was sort of blacklisted after leaving The Walking Dead. Just think about it, most actors who were in The Walking Dead back in the day, right now, their futures are looking bright. Danai Gurira, Norman Reedus, Michael Rooker, Jon Bernthal. Jon Bernthal was the Punisher, man. And he stayed in The Walking Dead for 2 seasons, as much seasons as Jeffrey the Moon did. The Moon has done some stuff after this, but really not much. Maybe it's just my impression, but I don't know. Think about it. Also, there's something else that kind of bothers me. Dale is barely mentioned after his death. It sort of feels like an FU to Jeffrey the Moon. Also, it's very strange to me, like why not recasting Dale, AMC? You could have literally just said, okay, Jeffrey the Moon is leaving, we can bring another actor to play this character. Why killing him off? It makes no sense. Whatever, they didn't. They just took him out. I don't understand that. Like, what? It doesn't make any sense. And so, Dale was killed in episode 11 of The Walking Dead Season 2. Judge, Jury, and Executioner. For me, this is the moment the show changed forever. Forever. I mean, they made it work inside the plot, but after this, they realized, hell, we just killed one of the most important characters in the story! Oops! If only we had another old wise guy we could use to fill the role of... You know exactly where I'm going with this, do you? Following the death of the character, Herschel was given the role of Dale in Season 3 and 4. After being a very stubborn, demanding, and authoritarian father who is very conservative and tough, he suddenly becomes very sweet, caring, wise, and he turns into Rick's conscience. He's not afraid to confront Rick with harsh realities when it's necessary, and he's the moral compass of the group. Where have I seen that before? They even gave him a beard, so we know who he's supposed to be now. Well, I guess beards give you wisdom. If you still think I'm exaggerating here, during the prison arc in the comics, Dale's leg is bitten by a zombie, and his leg has to be chopped off. Just like Herschel's. I'm convinced the only reason that they didn't make both Herschel and Andrea a couple in the show is because they had zero chemistry before this. Otherwise, I'm pretty certain they would have done it. I like Herschel and everything. Like, it's a cool character in the show. But come on, guys. It's just Dale again. But all good things must come to an end because Herschel was killed off during the mid-season finale of Season 4 in the hands of the governor. Why is this a problem, you say? Well, it was because in the comics, Dale is still alive. So the creators realized they screwed up again. Enter Bob. Bob is just a guy that kind of like just appears at the plot during season 4. Is just there. Bob is the one who suffers the fate of Dale at the hands of the cannibals.
David me! Shut up. You invaded me! Shut up!
But since Bob is just a guy we barely know, that moment does not feel as intense as it did in the comics. He even has a moment to say goodbye to Rick, and we're supposed to care? What was the relationship between these two? Come on, I barely even remember them speaking to each other. You can't do this to me, come on! This was the death of one of the main characters from the comics that has been with us during season 1, just like Glenn's death is not for a minor character. That's why it was such a big scene. If this was Dale dying right here, I would have cried like a baby. Look, just imagine this is Dale speaking to Andrea right here.
Why are you smiling?
I think I was dreaming. And I think you were smiling back at me in the dream. That's it.
So what is it? The good that comes out of this bad?
But of course, it was not, and the scene falls flat. They even got rid of his RV, burning it at the end of season 2, just to find another RV later in the story. What? That was supposed to be Dale's RV all along. What the hell? Why getting rid of it if they're just going to bring another one to the show? Even his RV got replaced. You can't make this up. Maybe you'll say, oh, it was just this one time. It doesn't like, no. They did this to Andrea as well during season 3. Andrea, one of the biggest characters in the comics, and she was just killed off at the end of season 3. Just like, yeah, let's just, we need to kill somebody off, I guess Andrea will do. And it was all because Glenn Mazzara did not know how to end the season with a bang. Laurie Holden, the actress that played Andrea, was told she was supposed to survive until the final seasons of the show, but of course, she did not. And once you think that maybe AMC has finally learned that they shouldn't... Nope! They killed off Carl! They killed off Carl Grimes! What really gets under my skin is how the show kills off characters just because of shock value, realizes, oh, it was a mistake, and then ends up replacing their storylines with another character who fills up the role. With Dale, it was Herschel and then Bob. With Andrea, it was Michonne and Sasha. And with Carl, it was Henry. Until they killed him off too. And just when you think that maybe they finally learned their lesson, they killed off Jesus! Jesus! Dale was not the first case of the show killing off a character who's still alive in the comics. But it's the first time showrunners killed someone without even thinking how it would affect the rest of the story. At least Sophia's death served a purpose. It made Carol a better character, for God's sake. Every major mistake the show made, for me, can be tracked back to Dale's death as the first big one they ever committed. It's amazing how a lot of people are complaining about how The Witcher show started changing stuff from the books and being disrespectful to the source material when The Walking Dead has been doing this for years now! I decided to make this video because, truth be told, I don't think many people understand how crucial this decision was. I've even seen your Maritas and your Myrtle talking about how the show was never the same after the firing of Frank Darabont. And I do believe them, because it seems like it was something special that sadly went to shit.
I've never had the depth of relationships like I've had with you guys, and I was on for a super short time. What do you think that is?
You know, it's wild because I'm still doing this show, and I'm still talking about those days to everybody that'll listen. There was this camaraderie between actors. You know, you say like family and all that, but it's like I mean, it was like blood brothers and sisters. Everybody just played it so real, and everyone supported each other, and it's not the same. I don't know, it was, we cared about the job, we wanted it to be good. You know, we had Frank, you know, it was Frank Darabont. It just felt so real and so good, you know, that I don't think those friendships will ever fade.
I personally really respect Jeffrey DeMunn. In an industry like that, that takes guts. That's just being a good friend, man. Somebody who's wishing to have your back and really die on that hill. I really admire the hell out of that. So I really can't blame him for leaving. The problem is with AMC and the way they manage things. Besides, how scummy do you have to be like, oh, thank you, Frank, for bringing one of the best shows into our platform. Oh, now you're fired. Goodbye. Haha, we're keeping your show now. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and I ask myself, what would have happened if Frank Darabont never left The Walking Dead? Man, what a show it would have been. Oh, maybe after all that crazy shit with Darabont, AMC realized they can't just start ruining the life of the people they're working with. Maybe they have to be a little more careful with... Nope! No. Thank you everybody for watching my video. Subscribe if you want more content like this. I also have an Instagram where I show my drawings, my art, because I'm also an illustrator. So also follow me there if you want to see more of the stuff that I do. Thank you very much for coming, and I'll see you in the next video. This was the Sources Corner. Goodbye. Dale! Whoa! Why did you laugh? Why? I'm never letting go!